So I made a video a few weeks back talking about Aurora, and that is one of I think the most personal video I've ever made. And when I was uploading it, I was thinking, should I upload this or not? And then finally I uploaded, not really expecting anyone to watch it because honestly I did it just for myself. And but shit, it did so good. It did so much better than I ever expected. 600 or 700 or 800 people clicked on it. I got so many lovely comments, some of the best comments I've ever gotten in that video, and I'm so grateful. Talking about Aurora, it's so personal to me, but at the same time, I did that video pretty much just to get that kind of bottle up emotion out, because that's what this channel is, right? To be able to talk to something or someone with this internet wall between us, me and the viewers, without actually talking to people. And that's what this channel is all about. I can talk without actually talking to people. So I did that video. I'm really grateful for what I got from that. The comments are freaking awesome. It's just great. In that video, I basically just sum up everything from Aurora's, I would say, the birth of her career, from that to Infection of a Different Kind, the second album that she put out, Step 1. So if you would like to check that video out, I put a link in the description and leave a card on top of there so you can click on it and go watch it. It's 50 minutes long. It's pretty damn long. I don't expect you to watch it at all, but if you're interested, go ahead. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about her third album, A Different Kind of Human. Step 2 is a sequel to Infections of a Different Kind, Step 1. And I'm going to be basically following the same format and structure that I did in that video. So we're going to just break down every song without the personal sequences I put in that video. So I'm just going to break the album out, how I see these songs and see these lyrics and how I interpret it, because she always said that her music doesn't really have one distinct definition that you can take away from. Then she expects that people take away different things from different songs and whatnot. So that's the whole point of it. I'm just here to give my opinion and my opinion only. So to start it all off, A Different Kind of Human Step 2 was dropped 2-3 days ago, maybe, as I'm recording this video on June 9th. So it just dropped like probably 2 days ago, and I listened to the whole thing multiple times through just in this couple of days, and I took a bunch of notes just to prepare for this video. So like last video, I'm going to put everything in the description, the source that I got my information from, the interviews or anything that I'm picking information from. The source are always in the description, and also the time frame, the timestamps of each song, of everything is going to be in the description down below. I know time is valuable, so if you want to skip certain things, everything is in the description, so it's easy. To start talking about this album, I would like you to know that Aurora's work is always a progression from the first EP, to the All My Demons Greeting Me as a Friend, to Infections of a Different Kind, to this album as well. It's all a progression. It's coming from, I would say, All My Demons and Infections of a Different Kind is more personal. It's more self-centered. And as she said in multiple interviews, A Different Kind of Human Step 2 is bigger than anything else. As I said in the last video, Step 2 is painting a bigger picture from a bigger perspective. I put a note here: getting a bigger perspective on things, realizing what you can do with your power, realizing what battles out there that needs your help. Because I think she always preaches love as an idea that everyone should get onto, because you can't fight love. That's what she said. At least the idea of love lasts forever. You can't. No matter how much time you spend battling it, you can't win. So why waste time on that? That's one of the mentalities she took in Queendom in a lot of her songs, but I think Queendom is probably the biggest piece. A Different Kind of Human Step 2 is also a tool to gather, because Infections of a Different Kind is really about ourselves, but Step 2 is about looking at each other and seeing that we're all different, which one makes us so unique. And listening to this album multiple times, there are definitely a lot of anger, a lot of wrath from this album from her. And she always say that, right? The people who choose to become a different human, it's what this album is about. Our willingness to change, our willingness to at the same time embracing who we are. And this album also takes this fantasy kind of approach that she does in, maybe for example, Conqueror, for example, is this fantasy story that she made up to kind of draw some similarities from these stories to our real life and how we are as humans. Like she said, I'm quoting, "We lost balance, we are intelligent, but we don't use it in the best ways." And in a lot of ways, this album is also about environment, how we tarnish it as a species with the climate change and everything that has been happening to our planet. And I would say that's a main theme. Some of the main themes of the album, I would say, is probably the environment, what it means to be human, what it means to be a different kind of human, and also it's a tool to gather. I think these are 3 things that can wrap up this album and what this album is about. So let's just get into it. The track list are let's just start with the first one, is The River. The River is one of the singles that she put out alongside with Animal and The Seed, except the Animal came out months ago and The Seed and The River kind of came out back to back. But The River is about emotions. That, as she said, it's about the river is a metaphor for our tears, because, you know, river, tears, and a river is also a metaphor for our emotions. That with lyrics like, "You can cry drinking your eyes, do you miss the sadness when it's gone, and you let the river run wild." I actually watched interviews with her saying that she read an article about, out of the entire world's suicide rate, 73% or 70-something% are from males. And I think she said that she took that idea and made the song The River is really that tears and maybe sensitivity in men are somehow associated with weakness, and that weakness in our society is not really acceptable from men. And The River, the song, is really about it's okay to feel, because we are all human are complex animals, and we have feelings that a lot of other animals don't have, and that's what makes us human. And The River is about letting that emotion go. You can cry, you can anything. Cry doesn't necessarily mean sadness. It can be happiness. One of the quotes she put out is, "Feeling that you can't talk about your emotions because pain is associated with weakness. Here in my world, it's not. Crying can be a happy experience, especially afterwards when you feel a bit lighter." That's what The River is about. And also the music video of The River, you see Aurora just takes off running. And whenever you see Aurora running in the wild, you know shit is real. The next track, we have Animal. This song is a song that I think there's a lot of similarities with Running with the Wolves when it comes to the theme and the message that she's trying to give off here. Because Running with the Wolves is about letting go of those social medias, right? Running away from that and into the wild to let our animal instinct out. And Animal, the song, it's really similar to that, the theme of it. The music video shows Aurora breaking out of a cage and into the city, hence the lyric, quote unquote, concrete jungle. That's what it means. Concrete jungle it means big city. And what she meant by lost in a concrete jungle is that we should take it way down, return to what makes us human, which is a similar theme as Running with the Wolves. With lyrics like, "Let me become an animal, because when you are an animal, you lose control." I feel like when we are away from technologies, when we are away from all of that, I think probably humans are the rawest, in our rawest form, because that's how we started it all in the beginning, in the first place. And I can really see those technologies and big cities and noise and sound be a distraction of who we are. And the more that we are exposed to that, the further we are from being a true human. It doesn't quite make sense when I put to words, but it does make sense in my mind. I don't know. Tell me. There's also a line in there, "The weight upon my shoulders feels so divine." I feel like it's a nod to Queendom, because in Queendom, there's a line saying that the woman will be my soldiers with weight of life on their shoulders. So it's like a nod. It amplifies the idea of human being their rawest form, and I think that's a beautiful way to put it. The next track, we have Dance on the Moon. I think probably pretty obvious. This song is probably about love, with lyrics like, "I hope love will come to us again as a place we all can come." And the message and how she worded this song really remind me of the film Interstellar, because what I put here is that no matter where you are, love penetrates everything through time and space, no matter you are as divine as an angel or as small as an atom. I think that's one of the theme from Interstellar, and kind of with that theme put into a song form, it's basically Dance on the Moon. And as I read this lyrics, the more I read it, the more I realize there's something to it. Hear me out. I might be fucking crazy, but I think that from this song, if you replace every time she says "I" in the song with love, I think Dance on the Moon is coming from a perspective of love. It's kind of like personifying love, what love would say about us. So here's the first verse. This voice is calling for a touch to be undone. I hope love will come to us again as a place we all can come. And if I'm blinded, will my eyes become the planets? While I float, or will I drown? This voice is it calling for the world to pull me down. And if you replace I with love, it feels like the entire song just worked, and it feels like everything just makes sense. This voice is calling for a touch to be undone. Love hopes love will come to us again as a place we all can come. And if love is blinded, will its eyes become the planets? Will love float or will love drown? This voice is it calling for the world to pull love down. And it just works so seamlessly. And the chorus, I feel time looking out my window watching me dance on the moon. Love feels time looking out my window watching me dance on the moon. The second verse also freaking worked even better. Love dances as I'm falling, but love never touched the ground. One day love will penetrate the earth and explode in motion sounds. And if love listens, will my mouth be filled with fire? Will love laugh or will love cry? This time I'll become everyone and the world will wonder why. Freaking mic drop. Next track we have Daydreamer. I really like this one because I feel like it's a love letter to us introverts. It's a love letter to us. How we check out a lot of the times during the day. I mentioned that actually in that video, talking about how I checked out all the time. And with that in place, the song talks about the good that can come if we stand up, the quiet ones, if the quiet ones stand up and actually speak out, and the bad that can come from it if we don't. And I said Daydreamer is a love letter to introverts because just listen, silicone eyes, watching storms, sitting quiet, reading books in the heat of city lights. When I'm restless, put me under the nightlife stars and I will feel grounded. And before the chorus, the pre-chorus, I think she's basically saying that if we stay silent, if we really just don't use our power, quote unquote, to the best intentions, if we stay silent and grounded, then the chorus comes, the consequences, and we become nighttime dreamers and streetwalkers, small talkers, when we should be daydreamers and moonwalkers and dream talkers. That the first line really hit me because I fucking hate small talks. I can't stand them. I'm trying to be better at it, but it's difficult, definitely. And closing the song with "Nothing Can Die While We Were Here," it's also about love because, as the previous track, love penetrates everything, space and time, anything. And nothing can die while we are here is just another addition to that. Next track we have Hunger. Hunger is one of the songs that it feels so different from her previous work, the style of it. I'm not a music expert, anything like that. It just, you listen to a song, it sounds different, then it's all of a sudden it's different. Hunger is about the selfish nature and what, as I call it, self-annihilation that human beings possess, how we seek for power and authority more than anything else. Where hunger in the song is a metaphor for hierarchy, the highs and the lows, yet we still annihilate ourselves. With lyrics like "Your body is a garden, cared for or forgotten, kill me with medicine, heal me with poison." It really reminded me of "Drug Dealer" by Macklemore. In that song, he talks about my drug dealer is a doctor and he's trying to kill me for $1. So Hunger, I think, is about strip away those powers, those authorities that's so tempted, that we desperately want. Strip away the surface, the appearance, we're all the same. With the lyrics like, in many ways we're not the same, but in some ways we are. So from that basis, from that foundation, since we are all the same, let's just help each other. Let's feed each other metaphorically, instead of stepping over each other and giving other people shit for our self-benefit and self-annihilate. Let's help each other out. Next track we have Soulless Creatures. Probably, I'm not really sure yet, but probably my favorite song of the album, Soulless Creatures, is 5 minutes long. This song is so interesting when it comes to lyrics because it feels like a debate. That, at least that's how I got out of it. It feels like two set of ideas, I would say, from two extreme ends, trying to debate each other and having a conversation, and you hear both sides of things. Soulless Creatures, to boil it all down, it's that if we don't have unique personal thoughts and love and a heart, then we're empty. Hence, soulless creatures. If we don't have those things, you're literally taking away the things that make us human. And when we're not human, we're just freaking soulless. We can go or die quietly, nobody would care, but at least I have loved every piece of me and I went with dignity. So about the two perspectives, it feels the song feels like both sides are two extremes, but they're having the same troubles. They're having the same worries in life, and they're trying to have a conversation, and they kind of meet in the middle by the end of the song. For example, verse 1, pre-chorus 1, and chorus 1 is from a perspective of a unique personality, with lyrics like, never knew this curious head of mine, never knew what is love if kept inside, nothing but an endless empty heart, like laying a seed within the dark. Give me a piece of your heart, give me a piece of your hands as we go. I wouldn't mind if I can't find anything to save our kind, all the pieces of my body's gone. That's the first perspective. With a second perspective, with verse 2, chorus 2, is from a perspective of a personality that is with hate. It feels like the personality has a lot of hate in his or her heart, with lyrics like, come my wonders after dawn restores, waiting for the world to turn once more, listening to the deep magnetic sound, hunting for a victim lying down. Fearsome hearts, I wouldn't lie, I got memories that travels my mind, fear not when you go, I got pieces of hate in my soul. And it feels pretty obvious since the first half and the second half uses different word. The two choruses are actually pretty similar, but the first one, it uses the word like love, but the second chorus, it used the word like hate, hence the contrast between the two. And after the first chorus, after the first personality give his or her perspective, and after the second chorus, the other personality give their perspective, we have the third chorus that is the same as the first chorus, but how I see it is two perspectives coming together, and they're both singing at the same time. Maybe agree to disagree, but at the same time, there's a solution to things when we come together. And to top it all off, she writes, I gave both sides of me, I give both sides of me. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. Next song is In Bottles. This song, actually, I heard it live in her concert. She performs a lot in Bottles live, but the song was never released, and we finally got it released. In Bottles is a sequel to Inboxes, which is a song from the EP, the Running with the Wolves EP, about this woman in her neighborhood and this fantasy story where she just followed people around, chop these people up in pieces and put their body parts in the boxes and then put it under her bed. And In Bottles is a sequel to that. You can take the song pretty literally because I don't think there's much subtext to it. But if I'm really digging deep into it, really seeing the subtext, if there is any, I can only see Hide Emotion with lyrics like cover your eyes, hide me inside under your spine. But I think In Bottles you can take it pretty literally, and what she writes, it's literally what she means. And you can enjoy it that way because the melody and how she delivers everything is freaking awesome. Track number 8. Here comes the track number 8, A Different Kind of Human, the title track. Track number 8 will always be her most important songs in every album she put out. And Oh My Demon Greeting Me as a Friend, track number 8 was Warrior. And in Infections of a Different Kind, the track number 8 is Infection of a Different Kind. And A Different Kind of Human, track number 8 is in A Different Kind of Human, because in number 8 is probably her favorite number, and 8 symbolizes infinity, because if you turn it 90 degrees, it is an infinity symbol. And A Different Kind of Human talks from a perspective of an alien taking a person into the afterlife and what comes afterwards, because death is interesting to me. What comes after, nobody really know, but you can only imagine. And some people fear death. You probably shouldn't be. And also this song has a post-chorus that has a language that you can't really understand. It's another made-up language of hers, and as you may or may not know, the imaginary language that she made up was also used in Forgotten Love, a song that I really, really love. And what she said about these made-up language is that it doesn't really need to mean anything. It doesn't mean anything as long as they have power. As long as when you hear them, it conveys a feeling, it conveys an emotion. That's the whole point of it. It doesn't really need to make sense at all. But she did include words like omega, which is typically means the end of something, and A Different Kind of Human deals with afterlife. How imagine some alien type of entity comes here to bring you back to the afterlife where everyone is safe, where everything is not as dark and not as cruel. it's still a fantasy story that she's telling in a really interesting way. And with that in mind, it feels like it's talking about the end of something is also a beginning of something else, because you die in physical form, but your soul remains in the afterlife. So it's a start of another thing. I'm not saying that I believe in that stuff, but I'm just saying that it's a story that she's telling. Next track, we have Apple Tree, where she describes herself as an apple tree, living life, trying to find a purpose of life, the meaning of life, so to speak. She also says, quote, "Apple Tree is about living your life with a purpose, and it has a lot of references to my childhood and my experiences as a child." I would say the song is written from the inside out. It feels like that. It gives multiple perspectives on one particular thing. And what I meant by inside out is that the song seems to hit at least contrast between the spiritual world and the physical. You can also see it as what's on the inside and what's on the outside. So it has these opposite meaning words. It's like I've been a girl, I've been a boy, skin is a word, love is not a sin, people are bad, people are good, moon is a stone, but it's a star, yet it hides. Hunger is quiet, hunter is loud, you can kill, but only in our physical form. So we have these completely different opposite like words and ideas back to back with each other to contrast. With actual chorus that says, "Let her save the world, she's just a girl. Let him save it all, he's just a boy." It's literally saying one person can actually make a difference if we actually use our power to the best that we could and to the best intention. And that's one of the theme of a different kind of human step too, right? How to realize our power and kind of gather together to support what we love, and instead of just fight against what we hate. The next track we have, The Seed, is one of the singles she put out before The River. I think it's really good. The acoustic version was also fantastic. The Seed that's it. It's about environment. That's it. There's really nothing much to it. It's about this anger, this wrath in human or in youth that she misses a lot. Not the type of anger that we use to fight against what we hate, but the anger to fight for the things that we love. With lyrics like "Suffocate me so my tears can be rain, I will water the ground where I stand so the flowers can grow back again," which basically means human beings as a species tarnish the environment for self-profits, cutting down the trees to build factories, which can be taken quite literally. You can eat plants, but you can't eat concrete, right? Concrete is another idea that came up in the song Animal in previously. And also the humming that comes up before the chorus, how I see that is it's like a time-lapse thing. It's like how the seed grows over time into a tree, and when it finally grows into a tree, it finally shouts out the chorus, "You cannot eat money." And the last track we have Mothership. It's another wisdom cries for me almost. It's a mood piece, but at the same time with a pretty unique perspective, and it's a really good track to end the whole thing. The whole thing, I mean step 1 and step 2, because there might be a step 3. We don't know yet. But from this, for this part of the story, Mothership is the end of it all, and it tells the story from a perspective of a human instead of an alien, like she did in A Different Kind of Human, the track. There's not much line in it, but it's just a conversation between a human and an alien. The human is asking, "Am I home?" An alien replying with, "You are home. Now you're at home," which she really emphasizes with this album. The afterlife is one of the theme of it. We always say that when somebody dies, we always say that they're always the best ones. The best of us goes earliest. But what if there's another world, there's another realm after death that are greeting these people, these good, beautiful people, into the afterlife, like an alien, for example, where they feel like home, where they can live their afterlife in peace, quiet, silence, and where it's not as cold, not as dark, and not as cruel as the real world. And Mothership is just pretty much the perfect piece to end it all. To step 1 and step 2, ending the saga, the process of becoming a different kind of human, from affection to transformation, step 1 and step 2, and we wrap up the album. I really love this album. Of course, I don't think she makes music that the majority of the people can get onto. It's really unique, and she has a unique voice not a lot of people can accept, and for obvious reasons. But yeah, that wraps up the step 1 and step 2 saga. She's already working on her fourth album, which it will probably come out next year in 2020. But I think that's like the frequency of it is really, really, really often. But at the same time, we can get more. Like, we don't really care. I don't really care if we get more and that often. She hints at her 4th album is gonna be a lot different than she has produced before, and from All My Demons and Infections and Different Kind of Human is gonna be wildly different. A Different Kind of Human, comparing with Infections of a Different Kind, is a lot louder, is with a lot more sparks, bigger fire, more political, more angry, more out there, and more open in general. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up this video. And as I said in the last video I did on Aurora is really really personal to me. Her music and her work is so personal to me. Like, it touches me that no other artist can, and that is so special. When I put her on, I feel powerful. I'm not gonna get all personal here like I did in the last video. I think that last video was like, it's out there, it's fine. I'm not gonna get all personal again. I'm not ready for that. But yeah, to wrap up this video, I'm gonna probably say the same thing. At least Aurora's work I can take away with me and carry with me for a long time, and she just gave me the slightest hope of humanity again. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time she drops anything. If you want to hear about Aurora's and what my takes on it, I would definitely keep uploading whenever she puts out work. But until next time, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.